Okay, amazing. A very good evening to every one of you, and welcome to this webinar today. Uh, I'm just trying to make sure that the audio is working from my end, just so that if you join in, you can hear me. Amazing, it is. Okay, so good evening to everyone. Please, you need to bear with me. It's not one of those very it's not one of those days where I'm very strong. I'm just trying to break through and obviously just hold this session because it was already planned. Let me try and notify our team and the community that we are live so that people that want to join in can. I'll make sure that we're not spending so much time today. Okay, so apologies for keeping you waiting. Amazing. Thank you everyone for joining in. So today we are going to be talking about before we talk about chasing perfection versus choosing peace, how to escape moms and parents burnout. That's our topic for today. You're very much welcome. Let me know where you're joining in from, and let me know what your expectations are. This session is not supposed to be more than half an hour. So by the next half an hour we'll be off your face. So this session is supposed to double as a webinar and also as our first cohort graduation. We'll have a number of certifications to present to the first cohort members who we felt were committed to the community for the past 12 weeks. By the by the second, which is tomorrow, the first cohort would be closing and it will be a wrap, and we're going to use today as our graduation in preparation for that. So without wasting so much time, I'm just going to go ahead and begin the session. Unfortunately, I might not be able to share my screen with you or do any presentation, but I'm just going to have a chat and we will talk about this chasing perfection in parenting, because I mean, for most mothers and most fathers, this particular topic is a thing, and especially if you are living in certain areas and environments, chaotic, experience of parenting is a thing. And that's why this session is for you if you're a parent and you're at that place where you're currently under pressure. So today we are going to be talking about something that many of us, sorry about that, carry in silence. The pressure to be perfect parents. That pressure is always there. We want to be perfect. And just before I continue, I remember getting this podcast that what's this lady's name? This lady that is married to the prince. What's her name again? Forgotten her name. But there's some things that she said she's learned over time, that we spend so much of our lives trying to prove something, to prove that we are enough, to prove that we are good parents. We find that we are always doing so much to want to prove that we fit in here. So you're trying to prove that you're a good wife, you're trying to prove that you're a good parent, you're trying to prove that you're a good friend. I mean, I am like that. Sometimes you want to do so much. You now do more than you're supposed to be doing. But one of the things that I have decided for myself is like, look, I'm done with trying to prove to be the game or to have it all going. There's no point. And I mean, there's really nothing to prove. If you don't see that I bring value, or if you don't, if it's not about even how people see me, it's how I am supposed to see myself, regardless of, because your life is more than a parent. Your life is more than the the titles that you've given it. Your life consists more than it, because long before all of those titles, you were still a human being, and that's enough. And I think most of the time we're stuck in that. And I think it's a good thing for us to begin to shift our perspective from wanting to, be the game. It's great if you become the game, but trying to prove it, there's no point really. And so, that feeling when you want to cook the healthiest meal, that feeling where you just want to make sure that the homework is done, you want to keep the house spotless and be present in church, you want to go for your PTAs, you want to make sure that you're meeting all the requirements of parenthood, and you still want to look like a snack for your husband. This is for the wives. You still want to look, you still want to do all of this and the mixture of all of this, kind of marinate or maybe sandwich all of this into your parenting lifestyle all at once. And there is something that chasing perfection does. It just will not bring you peace. It does not bring you peace, because peace will just be there like this and will be begging you, please, can you just take me? Can you just even take me? So I think today I'm just going to be focusing on trying to explain to us what it means to chase that perfection. And also, contrastly, I'll be sharing with you on both sides what it would mean to actually chase peace. So that's what we'll be talking about today. So, because if you see life, we live in a culture where good parents are expected to be everything. you know I remember someone used to call my mom a mother in Israel, because from afar people used to think, oh, our family is so perfect. People just used to think that way, but it's not true. We had our challenges. Superwoman, Iron Man, prayer warrior. That woman, she's that woman that carries her family spiritually. We like those titles. We, in as much as, let's get it straight. Yes, as much as we we should be those things to our families, but let it be that we are doing it from a place of balance and tranquility. Let it not be that it is from a place of burnout. That's all I am saying. It's nothing wrong with you being a prayer warrior, but just because you want that title to prove that you are a parent makes it unhealthy. We like titles: business tycoon, the biggest entrepreneur in the world. We like those titles. Personal chef, private tutor, therapist. We just like those names. And social media mommy of the year is something that is becoming a trend. You wake up and you see a lot of posts on social media, Instagram, TikTok. Pack my baby's lunch with me. Everyone is just painting that place of perfectness. But I can tell you for a fact that these things are not even close to peace. They're not close to peace. The fact that we see all of the things, the glamour, they're not a true representation of what perfectionism is. Like, if we're even going to get there, they are not. So today I'm just going to tell you guys, something raw tonight. I'm going to be very, very raw when it has to do with this conversation, because perfection is a moving target. It's targeting us, and we are kind of, because it is chasing us. It's making us run against peace. The faster you are running towards it, the faster you are running away from peace, because that's how perfection is. Is a moving target. It's targeting us, so we are running, but we are running towards God knows where, but running away from what is supposed to bring us peace. And that's why even today, I told myself, okay, yeah, I'm not in that place yet, but I'm going to do it in my own comfort and peace. I'm going to do it in my own tranquility. I'm going to do it at my own pace. I'm not going to do it under any standards or whatever. I'm just going to just show up in my own. I think one of the things that education has done to us, and that's one of the things I was also reading about, is not allowing us to show our uniqueness, our genuinity, how genuine we are. Imagine everyone was coming to this world with our true selves. When I mean true selves, I mean, who you truly are, presenting it without having to worry about, oh, what's the standard or what is the expectation. When it has to do with parenting, people are thinking, oh yes, for you to be a perfect parent, you must not let your children get away with anything. You must make sure that you hold it down. You must make sure, people have painted those pictures, what I call the societal construct of what is expected for every experience. And so when you don't meet up, you start trying so hard to prove a point. And then when you don't meet up, there's also a society that shames. And so we shame people for literally everything. And it's quite unfortunate that now puts people in those circle of chasing those perfection just so that they can prove a point that they're okay and they fit in, and that makes peace so far away from them. So we see these Instagram perfect homes, we see it clean white sofas. I like it. I see it every other time. I love watching those things. They are lovely. Children are very nice. They're eating their broccoli without complaining. Husbands doing the laundry. Everybody's just good people. There's no there's no it's in contrast with what is happening in your house. And you think to yourself, God, when? That when you say, God, when is my family going to be this arranged? you know but this is not real life. Unfortunately, it's not real life. Real life is loud. Let's be sincere. Real life is loud. How? It is imperfect. Real life is not perfect, guys. It's a child pouring gari inside your laptop bag. It's a child dipping hand inside Vaseline and rubbing it everywhere. Is your child putting hand in that food that you've just cooked, and it's literally very, very, very bacteria free, but they just came outside with their hand, they dipped their hand inside. It is chaotic. Like, it's not perfect. Real life is not perfect for anybody. It's falling asleep while you are praying because you are exhausted. I mean, that's what real life is. I don't know where we got when we got here. And I think as human beings, we need to cut ourselves some slack. I didn't come here to indulge anybody, but I'm just saying we need to begin to cut ourselves some slack. Because real life is forgetting that your child's school uniform is not what they're supposed to be wearing. That particular school uniform that they're wearing today is not what they're supposed to be wearing. That maybe today is inter-house sports day, or maybe today is their sports day. You're supposed to wear something else. And your child goes to school looking so different from other people. That's real life. And in all of this, guys, you're still a good parent. In all of this, as long as, for me, and what I believe good parents are, somebody asked threw me a question the other day, which gender makes it a good parent? I said, for me, a good parent is a healed parent, a parent who has intendedly decided to say, look, I'm going to heal myself so that I can parent in a way that heals my child. That's a good parent. Is a healed parent. It's not necessarily a perfect parent. It's a parent who has said, oh, look, I'm imperfect, but I'm still going to try my best to put in the work. I was listening to a minister today on Instagram, and she said something quite profound about not hanging ourselves. Because hanging yourself is one of the things that you easily do when in quotes, you feel like you have sinned. So you want to hang yourself. And that's a thing of pride, where she was trying to explain that, look, it's a thing of pride when you feel like you've sinned, instead of you to try to identify what the sin is and try to come to repentance with it and make those choices to do differently. You will now retract away from God and feel like you're not holy enough, or you're not good enough to want to be with God, and you feel like that's enough. Because when you start feeling like, oh look, I'm not holy enough, or I'm not righteous enough to be in the place of prayer, or to spend time with God, or I'm not good enough, before you know, you start going back and soaking yourself into sin and all of that. I think we need to stop hanging ourselves. Because for me, what I believe a good parent is identifying that, look, I have messed up, but I can be better. And one of the ways to be better is to join communities to support you. And that is why today I'm inviting you, if you have not registered for the rapper program, if you have not if you've not registered for the rapper program, please make sure that you register. I've put the link up there. Please copy it and register for this program. If you have not registered, register and be part of it. 5,000 naira is a little out of what going through the healing process with other people would do for you and your parenting journey and your child and the child, the future of your child. 5,000 naira is nothing. Cohort 2 is selling, and we have a number of registrants. So please, if you have not registered, if you refer someone to us, we'll give you a discount of 50%. I think that's what it is. Ibn Boy, if you are here, just type in the comment section, let me know. So we would give you a discount. Just make sure that you register for this program. And I'll just go ahead, continue from where I was talking about us. Not there's nothing um like the best parent or the perfect parent. The best of parents are those are the healed ones. And whether you like it or not, that is what for me perfectionism should look like. But I mean, when we spoke about what social media does and all, and when we said, look, these things are not real, whether you like it or not, they are not. It's not, I mean, it becomes real when there's no camera. Let's put it that way. Because, I mean, you can say it is real, but it becomes real when there's no camera. The moment there's no camera, that's the real life. Whether you like it or not, that's the real life. So forget about the lovely white sofa, which they might have, or the husband doing the laundry. Probably the first time he's doing a laundry in his house. Probably the first time. But obviously, it's on Instagram, and you're wondering, God, when? Why is my own husband not helping with the laundry? Now, this does not excuse husbands from not supporting and all of that, but it's always vice versa, because sometimes some some men watch videos of ladies cooking and doing a lot of house chores, and they're like, why is my own wife not cooking all these varieties? Forgetting that the wife is probably exhausted with childcare, exhausted with always also having to go to work. That their family dynamics just is not similar. There's nobody's family. If I come to all of you, we have over 300 plus currently in our cohort 1 and 2, people that we're supposed to sign up for. If I come to all of you, your houses, your family dynamics, if I come to all three of you, all of your houses, I would be sure to note those 300 unique differences in the family dynamics. I would have noted it. It will never be the same. So you need to come to that place where you understand that family dynamics differ. So let's break this thing down a bit. How do you know you are burning out? How can you tell? One of the ways you can tell that you are burning out is that you're constantly irritated. You shout more than you smile. You know, you feel like you are drowning in invincible expectations. Like the expectations that you have are not things that you have put in place, that okay, for example, let's give an instance. Oh, you're expecting an email because you've applied for something, but you have an expectation from things that you haven't put in place to expect from. Let's bring it back to the home front. For example, you're having expectations from your child that your child is supposed to know how to do a certain thing, but you have not funded them with the resources. When I mean funded them with resources, I don't necessarily mean financially. I mean like providing them with knowledge and light to that area, because especially when you're caring for teenagers, toddlers, preteens and all, they don't always have prior knowledge to everything. They don't even have the resources to understand or to receive light in the areas that you're seeking the expectations from with them. You start to resent the very people that you love. You find that you are resenting them because you don't like, you know you feel like there's nothing more to be given, and you don't like to be disturbed. That's what I can say. You feel like, oh, this one is just, people should just leave me alone. Go and meet your father, go and meet your mother. That feeling of, look, I love you, but I don't want you here. And even when you rest, your brain is still resting. What's on the to-do list? You are sleeping, but you're not sleeping. And the worst part, this thing is normal for a lot of us. That's the worst part. This thing has been normalized. We feel like, oh, living a life of chaos is the best of it. We laugh it off in our WhatsApp groups, like the badge of honor. And we say things like motherhood is not easy, or parenting is not easy. Or somebody said the other day in one of the apps we're running, parenting is not easy. Oh, but the truth is, we're silently breaking down these things that we've normalized, like, oh, it's not easy, or we've posted in our status, easy to be mama and all of those things. We have normalized it. and we're silently breaking inside. We've lost it with trying to do too much. That's what I call it. It's as simple as that. Because parenting burnout is real. It does not mean that you do not love your child. That's not what we're talking about. It means you've been carrying this heavy, this heavy load alone for too long. Like so it has become I'm using pidgin. Like it has become like a big thing for you. So what is the alternative? Chasing peace. That's what I always say. Chase peace. Instead of you chasing perfection, please chase peace. Choose it, protect it. Because peace doesn't fall on your lap in this parenting hustle. You have to make room for it. It's not just going to fall on your lap when you wake up every morning and you bombard yourself with chaotic activities or the the constructive mindset that you've got to be a certain way to be a perfect parent. So how do you even start by choosing and chasing and protecting peace? I think one of the ways is lower the bar. They've told you to, up your bar in this thing. For you to be a great parent, for you to be a wonderful parent, you've got to be kabashing at night, waking up at night and praying. You make sure that lower your bar. Lower your bar. Yes, you have heard me very well. Lower your bar. Everything must not be perfect every time. I'm just so grateful. I stumbled on one minister's video. This was it in the morning or sometime earlier in the day, and he said, "Look, we need to stop expecting certain perfection from people. We need to stop it." And as much as we're saying it, we're not saying it enough because people are putting themselves under pressure, unnecessary ones. Lower the bar, lower the expectations that you have from situations, from people. Lower it. Put in the work, but lower the expectation. Everything must not be perfect. Your house must not be must not be like clean. Your house can be messy and your children will still thrive. As much as I'm saying this, it took me a while to accept this thing because I used to be very, oh, my things must be kept in a certain way, my things must be kept that way. But I've come to accept it that in real life, things will not always be kept in the places that you want them to be. And it is okay. And I think another thing that we must learn on this journey is that we must say no without an apology. Learn to say no. I am learning this one hard. I'm learning to set boundaries so much because the moment you leave it open, anybody can come in. So you need to anybody can come in. When I mean anybody can come in, I mean gatherings. I mean anything can just fit in because you haven't said no. You need to say no to unrealistic expectations, over committing yourselves to certain activities and saying yes to some things. You need to wait because you need your mind to be in a place of tranquility for you to be sane for tomorrow. Another thing I always tell people is, look, when we say ask for help, people think, oh, it has to be financial help, or it has to be, oh, you've got to had left your house to come to me. But no, sometimes just having that person, that neutral person that you can ask question and just talk to without any sense of judgment, just venting it out is even the help that you probably even need. A lot of people don't have who to vent it to. They don't. And sometimes they now feel like they are in that position of burnout alone. Forgetting that a lot of people are feeling burnout. Everybody is afraid of getting judged. Everybody's afraid of, oh, what would this person think about me? But one of the things that um venting does for you is that it relieves that pressure that is trying to choke you and all. So asking for help is a big deal. And asking for help doesn't necessarily mean, oh, you know come and provide my needs. It means, look, I just want to share this thing. Sometimes, a lot of times, people just want to be heard. They just want to share it. It's not necessarily like they want you to come and solve the problem, because sometimes people even know that you can't solve it, but they just want to vent it out. And because they are able to vent, they become a lot better. So we need to stop acting like the one woman battalion or the one man battalion. I am okay with myself. I can sort myself out. If you're not going to help, I can sort myself out. You know, and this even is a thing that a lot of women do. We feel like, I'll sort myself out, but you need to allow the men coming into the work too. Even for people who have older kids, involve them. Ask for help. For people who have, and once your child is, let's say from 5, They can start helping around in the house by modeling it for them. Even your neighbors. Now, this is dependent on your location. If you have to, please ask your neighbors for help. And I think a lot of times people are afraid to ask because they feel like they'll be turned down or they'll be told no. What's the worst? They've told you no and you move on. Another thing is that, again, so all the things that we create in our heads are not the things that people are thinking. They are not the things that people are thinking. Some people are not even thinking that, oh, this one asked me for help because they came to show themselves, or they came to open up to me, or they start. Sometimes people just like, oh, they came to ask me for help. Oh, unfortunately, I couldn't give, and they've moved on. Half of the time, the things that we think people are thinking about us, they are not thinking about it, because everybody have their secret battles that they have fight. How do I know? Because the truth is, what I worried so much about when I raised the conversation, I'm like, oh my god, I wasn't thinking about it though. And you now realize that truthfully they were not thinking about it because they have so much going on with them. Another thing, apart from asking for help, join a safe community. I cannot emphasize, you know, rapper well enough. This is where you have like a safe space for parents like you, where you unlearn, where you heal, where you parent with peace. I can bet you that if you are exposed to rapper for a long stretch of 2 weeks, you'll find a sense of peace. You'll find a sense of tranquility because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And you're not meant to parent alone. It might sound funny, but you're not meant to parent alone. You're meant to parent with support. So tonight I'm asking you, I'm going to round up now before we present our certifications. I'm asking you, will you keep chasing perfection? And the next thing, you will land yourself in the hospital with high blood pressure? Or will you choose peace and show up as a present, rested, and whole parent? Do you want to find yourself in the hospital, or do you want to find your place in the place of peace? Your children don't need you to be perfect. They need peaceful parents. They need a mom and dad that laughs more than they shout. That's the truth. A dad that listens and does not lecture all the time. A home where peace is louder than pressure. That's what your child needs. Because the truth is, the legacy you leave is not supposed to be in perfectionism. It is the memories of warmth, of acceptance, of safety. Those are the memories that, look, my home was warm enough. That anything that we did in this home, we could accept each other. This home is my safe space. I can come here and feel safe. Safe. When we're talking about safety, we're talking about emotional safety. We're talking about physical safety. This is my safe space. I feel at home here. That is what a home is. A home is not a marathon. So if this message that I've shared all with you today, you know, resonates with you, I wanted to ask you guys to drop me a comment. And if you want to be a part of the parenting community that puts mental health first, I want to invite you to join the Rapper Raise the Parent Academy today. Details are already on the screen and obviously in the description box. Please choose peace. Your heart will thank you. Your children will too. Please, please, please. I beg you, choose peace over any other thing in your parenting journey. Thank you so much for listening. That has been the end of this webinar, and I'll just go ahead to share my screen with you because I want to present our certification to the people that we want to celebrate from the cohort one. If you have any questions about the webinar that I just ended, you can drop it for me. I would let me have a look if there are any comments so far. I'll have a look and bring it on the screen and then answer it. But for now, I'm going to share my screen and oops. I'm going to present. I'm going to share my screen and present some certifications. Can you see my screen, guys? Ooh. Okay, I haven't shared my screen yet. In a minute, please. Windows, yes. Okay. So this I have an award to present. Ellen, if you are here, please drop me a comment. Let me know. So we're presenting the Empowered Parents Advocates Award to Ellen Olisa in recognition of her courage, contribution, and compassionate presence during the Make Earth Cares Raise the Parents Academy Cohort 1. I don't know if Ellen is here, but regardless of whether she's here or not, we would definitely send her. Please drop some clap, 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 clap for this amazing lady. Please let's clap for her. She has been committed. I like to say she has been so committed to. Oh, is this privated? Anyways, going on. So, um, Helen has been so committed on this journey, and she has been the most engaged parent. And she shared her feedback on what transformed her whole experience and how being a part of the community. Unfortunately, I should have brought out her feedback, but I think it's in my chat. I'll share it with us some other time. But she has shared how her life has really transformed just being a part of our Raise the Parents Academy. We have another certification to present. Um, in a minute. Oh, move. So I'm just stop sharing. Okay, share screen again. Windows. Okay. And this one is presented. It's called the Rapper Parenting Ally Award of the court. This certificate is presented to Dr. Tolani Oyerinde. If she's here, please clap for her. And it's honoring her unwavering support and contribution to the well-being of parents and families during the Make Cares Res Parent Academy. Dr. Tolani has been a support to a lot of parents back end. She tries to make sure that parents feel supported, and just by you know, always coming back and to check in to make sure that everyone is fine and everyone is okay. I think this award is something I personally felt like I should. She has no idea about it. I mean, even Helen doesn't know about it. No, but none of them knows about this. But it was just from our observation that we brought this to play. So yes, this has been our time here, and obviously talking about, I've shared with you what chasing peace would mean over chasing perfection, choosing peace would mean over chasing perfection. And obviously it has been our graduation for the first cohort, and I wanted to say thank you to everyone for joining in this evening. I promised you that this session will not be more than half an hour, and I think we've already done, yeah, we've already done how many minutes so far, not sure, but obviously, yeah, we've done 30 minutes. That's half an hour. So thank you everyone for joining in. And whenever you get to watch this, I hope it gives you value. Anyone that rewatches this, thank you. And I hope you have an amazing evening. I'll see you guys, all you guys in the community. Bye bye.